The seagulls weren't crying that day. That was the first thing Danielle noticed as she stepped onto the old boardwalk that curved like a spine along the coastal edge of Ocean View Beach. It was spring break, but the air felt off, like it hadn't yet decided to be warm or cold. The sky above looked like bruised glass, and beneath her sandals, the wooden boards creaked, not from age, but something else, something watching. She tightened her hoodie and glanced behind her. No one, just the flicker of an empty amusement ride spinning in the wind, creaking gently like an old man's bones. She should have never come back. Not after what happened 6 years ago, but her therapist said it was time to face things. That trauma, when buried, doesn't rot, it grows. So Danielle booked a solo trip, returned to the very boardwalk she'd sworn never to see again, and told herself it would be healing. She was wrong, dead wrong. As she walked past the closed-up funnel cake stand, she heard it, a faint chiming tune like a nursery rhyme, distorted through an old cassette tape. It wasn't the usual jingle she remembered from the ice cream trucks of her childhood. This one was offbeat, slower, like someone dragging their fingers across piano keys underwater. But what froze her wasn't the melody. It was the fact that it was coming from the exact spot where he vanished. Tommy, her twin brother. He disappeared right on this boardwalk when they were both 14. One moment he was beside her, holding a cherry, snow cone and laughing at a seagull stealing someone's fries, and the next he was gone. No sound, no scream, just a single half-melted snow cone rolling across the boards. She looked everywhere, for hours. The police didn't believe her story. Her parents thought she was in shock. No security cameras ever showed him leaving. It was like he'd been swallowed by the boardwalk itself. And now, standing at the exact spot where it happened, she heard that music again. Danielle turned slowly, heart hammering. The old ice cream van was back, but it wasn't the same. This one was faded yellow, with rust crawling like veins across its surface. Its windows were darkened, no driver visible, and yet it was playing the song. The same strange, low lullaby, like it had waited all these years just to return. She stepped forward, almost against her will. Every cell in her body screamed to run, but her feet moved on their own, and then the van's back door creaked. Open inside was pitch black, except for one thing, a snow cone, cherry red, just like the one Tommy had. She blinked hard. "Tommy?" she whispered, her voice breaking like a dry twig. No reply, but then she heard it, a voice from inside the van, low, childlike, singing along with the melody. "If you walk the boards too late, your name the sea will imitate." Danielle stumbled back, breathing hard. This isn't real. This isn't happening. She turned to run, but someone was standing behind her, an old man. Pale, sun-creased face, eyes cloudy but sharp. "You saw the van, didn't you?" he said, voice a gravel whisper. Danielle froze. He nodded slowly, stepping closer. "Most people don't. That means it remembers you." "What? What is it?" she stammered. "The boardwalk van comes back for the ones it misses, for the ones who looked away." She stared at him. "My brother disappeared 6 years ago. Right here," he nodded again. "Then it's not done with you." Danielle backed away, heart thundering, but the van was gone, vanished. No tracks, no sound, no smell, just the echo of the song still dancing in her ears. The old man looked at her with pity. "You better leave before sunset." "Why?" "Because the ones who hear the song twice usually don't get a third chance." That night, Danielle didn't sleep. She stayed at a small motel just off the beach. Curtains drawn, lights on, every sound making her jump. She kept thinking of that snow cone, of that voice, of Tommy. At 2:03 a.m. her phone buzzed. Unknown number, just one message. "Do you remember the last thing I said to you?" Her blood ran cold. Only Tommy would know. Only Tommy did know. 6 years ago, right before he vanished, he'd nudged her and whispered, "Promise me you'll never leave me, not even when we're old." And she had laughed and said, "I'd never leave you. You're my twin, dummy." She hadn't told anyone about that moment. Trembling, Danielle typed back, "Is this you?" No reply. Then 3 dots, typing. Then another message. "Don't trust the man with the cloudy eyes. He's not trying to help you." Her chest tightened. The old man, the one who warned her. But why would Tommy say that unless someone was pretending to be him? She needed answers, and there was only one person on this entire beach who seemed to know anything. At dawn, she went back, but the man was gone. In his place, at the edge of the boardwalk, was a small wooden box. Inside was a photograph, old, faded. It showed the ice cream van, and standing next to it, a boy, Tommy, and the old man. Except the date on the back said 1963. Danielle's breath caught. That couldn't be right. Her brother was born in 2003. How was this even possible? And then, below the photo, scribbled in shaky handwriting, "He feeds it. That's how he's still alive. The van takes and he gives. Be careful, Danielle, you're next." She dropped the photo and stumbled back, heart racing. Something was horribly, impossibly wrong with this place, and now it wanted her. That evening, as the sun bled into the horizon and painted the sky the color of old wounds, Danielle stood at the boardwalk's edge. She had a choice: run and forget, or stay and uncover the truth, even if it killed her. Her phone buzzed again, a video from the same number. Her hands shook as she opened it. It showed a dark hallway, creaking, floorboards, and then a glimpse of him, Tommy, alive, eyes wide, lips cracked, chained to something in the dark. He whispered one word into the camera, voice rasping, "Help!" The video ended, and from somewhere behind her, the van's melody began to play again. The sea forgets, the boardwalk hides, but secrets walk where silence dies. Danielle turned slowly. The van was back, and this time, the door wasn't just open, it was waiting. Danielle didn't remember walking. 1 second, she was staring at the open van door, the eerie music curling through the air like smoke. And the next, she was inside. The door creaked shut behind her. Darkness swallowed everything. No windows, no light. Just her shallow breathing and that cursed melody echoing from somewhere deeper in the van, impossibly far back. It didn't make sense. The van looked small from outside, but inside, it stretched like a hallway that bent in ways it shouldn't. She reached for her phone. Dead. She had fully charged it an hour ago. "Tommy," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the music, "if you're in here." A sound behind her. Not footsteps. Dragging, like someone being pulled. She froze. "Tommy." Then drew a whisper right next to her ear. "Why didn't you keep your promise?" Her body jerked back against the metal wall, heart slamming. "Who's there?" No answer. But now the music was louder, slower. She said she'd never leave him, but promises decay. Now the van has come for her, and here she's meant to stay. Danielle moved forward, hands outstretched, trying to feel her way through. The space was changing. The metal under her hands began to feel soft, like damp wood. The floor creaked, not like a van, but like a boardwalk. Then her fingers brushed something, a handle, a door. She pushed it open and stumbled out, into a long hallway lit by flickering carnival lights. What she saw made her legs nearly buckle. The boardwalk, but not the real one. This was older, rotten. The rides looked broken and melted. The sky above was grey and churning like soup. No people, just dolls, lining the stalls. Plastic smiles, cracked eyes, all staring at her, and in the middle of it all, the same ice cream van. Waiting. She tried to run, but the hallway shifted behind her, sealing her inside this twisted version of the boardwalk. Then a voice, small, weak. "Danielle?" She turned so fast her neck popped. Tommy, barefoot, paler than she remembered, shackled to a pole near the broken carousel, eyes wild with hope and terror. She sprinted to him. "Oh my God, Tommy, I thought you were dead." He clung to her. His skin was ice, his body was trembling. "You shouldn't have come. It knows you're here now." "What is this place?" she whispered, tears hot on her cheeks. He looked up at her with hollow eyes. "It's where broken promises go." Danielle's mouth opened, but no words came out. Tommy leaned in close. "It feeds on regret, on guilt. That's how it keeps people." She glanced at the shackle. "I'll get you out, I swear." She reached into her bag. Nothing. Everything she'd brought was gone. Tommy pulled back suddenly. "Wait!" His eyes shifted past her, then his whole body tensed. "No," he whispered. She turned, and there he was, the old man, the one from the real boardwalk. But here, he looked different. His skin was smooth, eyes sharp. He looked younger, stronger. He smiled. "You're not supposed to be here, Danielle." She backed up, placing herself between him and Tommy. "Who are you?" He stepped forward, hands behind his back. "You think I tricked you? Lied to you?" His voice was soft, almost kind. "But you've got it backward. I saved him." "What are you talking about?" "The van took him. That day, 6 years ago, I brought him food, water. I kept him from being swallowed whole." "You fed the van." He didn't deny it, just shrugged. "It's how it works. It takes, but it also trades." Danielle's stomach twisted. "Why him?" The man's smile faded. "Because he was alone, because you looked away." "No," she whispered, shaking her head. "No, I turned for 1 second, and that's all it needs." Behind her, Tommy groaned, collapsing slightly against the pole. "He's weak," the man said. "He won't survive another year." "But you're fresh." Danielle's skin went cold. "You want to trade me?" He nodded. "He gets to go, you stay." Her heart thudded. "And if I say no," he shrugged again, "then he stays, and eventually he'll forget who he is." Tommy was looking at her now, panicked. "I don't want you to do this," he said, voice shaking. Danielle turned to him, hands on his face. "I'm not going to leave you again. But if you stay, I promised. And I'm not breaking it again." He sobbed. "Danielle, please," but she was already turning, facing the man. "Let him go." The man looked at her, amused. "It doesn't work unless you mean it." She stepped forward, every nerve in her body screaming, "I mean it." The van's music shifted, louder, heavier. The air thickened. The dolls started laughing, the shackles on Tommy snapped open with a metallic clink. He stumbled to his feet, dazed. "No," he cried, "don't do this." She turned to him one last time. "Run, don't stop." "But," she smiled through tears, "live. That's how you save me." Tommy hesitated, and then he ran. The man just watched. Danielle waited for pain, for fire, for death. But instead, everything stopped. The music, the lights, even the wind. She was back inside the van, alone. The door creaked open behind her. Sunlight, the real boardwalk. She stepped out, and there was Tommy, older, sitting on the edge of the boardwalk, crying. He turned. His eyes went wide. "Danielle." She ran to him, held him, but something was off. His hands, they went through her, not completely, but like she was made of mist. He touched his face. "You're not real." She smiled sadly. "I think I'm in between," he sobbed. "I tried to come back. I searched for you. I went through every record, talked to everyone, but you never came out of that van." She touched his cheek. "It doesn't matter." Tears rolled down his face. "Yes, it does." She looked out at the waves. "I get my promise." He nodded, broken. "I'm so sorry I left you." "You didn't," she whispered. "You lived. That's all I ever wanted." Then she began to fade. Tommy screamed, reaching for her, but his hands passed through and she was gone. Somewhere on the boardwalk, years later, a teenage girl walks past an old ice cream van, faded yellow, rusted. The music begins to play. She said she'd never leave him, but promises decay. She frowns, turns, the van is gone, but a small red snow cone rolls slowly across the boards, and from the shadows someone watches. Not the old man, someone new, a woman with Danielle's eyes. The boardwalk was alive again. Tourists, children, with cotton candy, couples laughing, the sun high, the sea shimmering gold. No one noticed the van. It didn't drive in, it didn't arrive, it was just there, parked beside a faded carousel, rust creeping across its doors, music trickling out, slow, out of tune, like a memory trying to survive. No one looked twice except her. 17-year-old Maya was used to feeling invisible. She was quiet, bookish, always on the outside of laughter. Her dad worked the corn dog cart near the pier. Her mom had disappeared when she was 10, and she'd grown up hearing stories about the missing girl who vanished into an ice cream van. But she didn't believe in ghosts until the van opened its door. No driver, no one inside, just a note on the floor. One word: help. Maya froze. Something inside her stirred. Not fear, recognition. She stepped back, heart racing, then further. The music faded behind her. She didn't sleep that night. She couldn't. That word, help, replayed in her mind, not just as writing, but as a voice, a woman's voice, whispering it through her dreams. By morning, she couldn't stand it. She went back to the boardwalk. The van was gone, but the carousel near where it had parked was turning. No music, no power, turning. Maya walked toward it, pulse drumming in her throat. Carousels didn't turn on their own. She stepped onto the platform, her eyes scanning the horses. Then she saw it. On one of the chipped white horses, a red snow cone melting, dripping down the plastic. Next to it, a photo, old, black and white. A young woman holding a child. The edges of the photo were burned. Maya picked it up. Her fingers trembled. The woman in the photo, she looked like Maya. Same eyes, same crooked smile. She turned it over. On the back, she didn't break the chain. Will you? Maya's knees buckled onto the wooden planks. She didn't understand, but something inside her already did. That night, she went through her dad's drawer. She found a newspaper clipping, yellowed, brittle, local woman vanishes from boardwalk, ice cream, van last seen at scene. There was a picture, a name, Danielle Harper, Maya's mum. She felt the ground vanish beneath her. He had lied. Her dad had lied for years. She confronted him. He sat in silence at the kitchen table, eyes sunken, shaking hands wrapped around a chipped mug. She wasn't crazy, he whispered. That van took people. It took your uncle too, Tommy. Maya's mind reeled. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because knowing doesn't help. It calls you. His voice cracked. And now it's calling you, isn't it? She nodded. Slowly, he stood pacing. You stay away from that boardwalk, you hear me? If it chooses you, it won't stop. But what if I can find her? Maya said. What if she's alive? He turned to her with red-rimmed eyes. She's not, but he didn't sound sure. 2 nights later, Maya went back. The air felt colder. Even though it was June, the sea looked black. The moon hung low, and there, parked where the carousel used to be, was the van. She stepped closer. The door opened, not swinging, but yawning like a mouth. Inside, total blackness, but she could see a faint shape at the end. A figure. A woman, long, dark hair, pale face, eyes hollow with time. Maya's heart stopped. Mom? The woman didn't move. Maya stepped in. The van swallowed her whole. Inside it was worse than anything she imagined. Time didn't exist. Space twisted. She walked, but didn't move. She ran, but got nowhere, and that woman, always just ahead, never closer, until the music began again. She looked away, and so did they. Now the van has come to stay. Maya screamed, covering her ears. Then, silence. The woman was gone, and Maya stood on the old boardwalk, the one from Danielle's nightmare, rotten planks, screaming dolls, an endless sky. She saw the carousel, saw the melted rides, and then her, Danielle, kneeling beside the same pole where Tommy had once been chained. Her eyes snapped to Maya. She gasped, "Maya!" Maya ran to her. "Mom! Oh my God!" They embraced, but Danielle felt wrong, cold, thin, like paper. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered. "You broke the chain. You were free." "I had to find you." Tears filled Danielle's eyes. "You don't understand. You coming here." It starts. Again, then a new voice. She's right. Maya turned. A man stood on the edge of the rotted pier. The same one Danielle had faced before, but older now, decomposed, his face peeling, eyes hollow. "You're the final piece," he said. "The daughter, the heir." "What do you want from me?" Maya shouted. He smiled. "It doesn't matter what I want. The van wants what it's owed." Danielle grabbed Maya's hand. "Run!" But there was nowhere to run. The boardwalk folded in on itself. The carousel began to spin. The dolls chanted. Maya screamed. Then everything shattered, and she was standing in a hospital hallway, fluorescent lights buzzing. A nurse walked past. "Maya." "Harper?" She turned. "Yes, your mother's awake." Maya blinked. "My what?" The nurse led her to a room. Inside, Danielle, in a hospital gown, alive, breathing, real. "Maya," she whispered, eyes wide. Maya rushed in. "How?" Danielle's hands shook. "The van. Let me go." "Why?" Danielle looked at her, eyes full of love and terror. "Because it took you instead." Maya's breath caught. She looked around. The window, the clock, the hallway, everything felt just off. Then her reflection in the window shimmered and grinned. Not her face, not her eyes. The music started again, faintly. She opened the door to find her fate. Now she learns it's far too late. The room was silent. But in Maya's head, the carousel music wouldn't stop. Her hands trembled as she stared at her reflection in the hospital window. Her face looked like hers, same brown eyes, same scar near her lip from when she fell off her bike as a kid. But behind her eyes, something else blinked, something that wasn't her. "Mom," she whispered, turning back to Danielle, who sat pale and dazed in the hospital bed. "I don't understand. I pulled you out. I broke the chain." Danielle shook her head slowly. "No, sweet girl. You didn't break it. You just passed it on." A lump formed in Maya's throat. "Then why am I here? Why did it let you go?" Danielle stared out the window. "You were the only one it ever let walk inside willingly. No begging, no trickery, no scream. You chose to go in, and that broke its rules." "It has rules?" Maya's voice cracked. Danielle nodded. "It's not just a van, Maya. It's something older, something that feeds off broken people. Guilt, secrets, grief. That's why it chose the boardwalk. So many come here to forget, but they leave with more pain." Maya looked down at her hands. "I want out," she whispered. "I don't want this in me." But Danielle's face broke. "You're not out, baby." Maya froze. Danielle looked at her with tears spilling. "You never came back." Maya's heart dropped. "What?" Danielle reached for her hand, holding it tight. "I woke up, but they told me. They told me what happened." Maya pulled her hand away, standing. "What are you talking about?" Danielle reached for the drawer in the hospital nightstand and handed Maya a newspaper. Shaking, Maya read the headline. 17-year-old girl vanishes on boardwalk. Same spot her mother was last seen years ago. A picture of her smiling, wind in her hair, the photo her friend Emily had taken the week before. "No," Maya whispered. "No, this can't." Then she saw the date. 3 weeks ago, Her knees buckled. She hadn't come back. This wasn't real, or rather, this wasn't life. The window behind her began to ripple like water. The TV screen flickered. A nurse walked in. But she had no face. Just skin stretched where eyes and mouth should be. Danielle stood from the bed. "We don't have much time." Maya backed up. "Tell me what this is." Danielle looked around, frantic. "You're caught between. It's what the van does. If it can't take you, it traps you. And the longer you stay, the harder it is to remember who you were." "Then how did you escape?" Danielle's eyes filled with guilt. "I made a deal." "What kind of deal?" "I told it I'd stay. Forever. If it let you go." Maya felt her world spin. "You gave up your life? For me?" Danielle smiled, softly. "You were only 10. I thought maybe you'd have a chance, but it didn't keep its promise." The walls began to close in, boards cracking, carousel horses emerging from shadows. Maya's head filled with the screams of every person who had ever vanished on the boardwalk. Danielle grabbed her shoulders. "But you're stronger than me. It let you in without force. That means you can walk out." Maya shook her head. "How?" "By remembering." "Remembering what?" "Yourself." The carousel appeared again. They were standing on it now, spinning. The horses twisted and groaned, their eyes bleeding tar. Dolls with glass teeth hung from the poles. In the center stood a figure, the same decaying man Maya had seen before. He stepped forward. "You don't belong here." Maya stood tall. "Neither do they." He laughed, voice like gravel and rot. "They chose to forget. You're the only one fighting to remember." Danielle stepped in front of Maya. "She's leaving. This ends with her." The man raised his hand. Chains shot from the ground, wrapping around Danielle's arms, yanking her back. "No!" Maya screamed. The man turned to her. "She was always weak. You're different. You're angry. You've tasted the power." "What power?" He grinned. "The power to bring them back." Suddenly, scenes flooded her mind. Maya's friend Emily crying by the ocean, her father drunk and hollow, mumbling her name, posters with her face, pain, loss, screaming, but also a pull, like she could reach through the barrier, like she could send a message. "Let me go," Maya whispered. "Let us all go." He stepped closer. "Break the chain." And they all fade, every trapped soul, every deal made, even her. He pointed to Danielle, still bound by chains, sobbing. "You can't save both." Maya's breath hitched. "What?" "One or all," the man said. "Choose." Danielle met her eyes and nodded. "Let me go," she whispered. "No," Maya cried. "You have to," Maya screamed. "I won't lose you again." Danielle smiled. "Then they'll lose you." Everything began to collapse. Maya fell to her knees. She had one shot. She closed her eyes and thought of the sound of ocean waves, the heat of the sun on her skin, her dad's laugh before he broke, Emily's terrible jokes, her mother's singing voice once soft in the kitchen. She reached deep inside herself and whispered, "I remember who I am. I remember what's real." The carousel cracked, screams tore through the sky. The man lunged at her, but missed because she wasn't there anymore. Maya woke up on the sand, choking, coughing, the ocean behind her, the sun rising, people gathering. A woman screamed, "That's her! That's the girl from the posters!" Maya opened her eyes. She was real. Back. Alive. Her dad collapsed beside her, sobbing. Emily pushed through the crowd, tears streaking her face, but Maya didn't smile, because Danielle wasn't there and never would be. 1 week later, the boardwalk was closed. Police tape, reporters. No one knew where Maya had been. She told them the truth, and no one believed her, except her father. He placed flowers by the old carousel post, a photo of Danielle, and a note. "Thank you for our daughter. We'll never forget you." 6 months later, Maya volunteers with missing persons organizations. She visits families who lost someone. She listens, she comforts, she remembers. And sometimes, late at night, when the wind whistles just right, she hears carousel music and whispers, "Not this time." Because Maya broke the chain, she refused to be forgotten, and in doing so, she saved them all, even the ones who never came back. The end.